of the media, and indeed international media as well as onlookers. We also note that despite a court injunction prohibiting the use of live ammunition, tear gas, and crude weapons to disperse protests, police continue to deploy arbitrary gunfire, resulting in innocent deaths and injuries. To restore peace in the country, we demand that the police act swiftly in identifying and apprehending all the violent and criminal elements that infiltrated the peaceful protests. There are many questions that Gen Z, Azimio, and the world have, the two most significant of which are: why is Ruto, through his henchmen and thugs, hiring goons to destabilize constitutionally protected protests, causing chaos and mayhem? Is the goal to declare a state of emergency and suspend the Constitution? Given Ruto's blatant mishandling of the economy through punitive tax policies, increased domestic and foreign borrowing, runaway corruption, ethnic and tribal public sector hiring, and astounding capacity to splurge on domestic and foreign travel and other luxuries, increased unemployment and high cost of living, the growing dissatisfaction the Kenyan public was to be expected. Generation Z is tired, and Kenyans are tired. The slew of lies has left the hustlers, quote unquote, distraught and traumatized. Kenyans have had enough of Ruto and are demanding that #Ruto must go today, not tomorrow. To expedite the people's wishes, Azimio demands that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill 2024 be immediately signed into law. We are aware that this bill has been sitting on Ruto's desk for days now, and the Kenya Kwanza dictatorship is reluctant to sign it into law. As a coalition, we call out to Ruto and demand that he assent to this essential bill that allows citizens to hold their representatives in the legislature accountable. By the way, the Constitution says if you want to withdraw your member of parliament, you have to wait for 2 years. The 2 years are coming to an end on the 9th of August. So really, this is timely. We have officially, through our constituent parties mechanisms, put on notice all Azimio legislators who went against the wishes of their people. We are supporting the call for their recall. We continue to offer our condolences to the families of all those who lost their loved ones from the police bullets. We also wish those admitted to different hospitals quick recovery. We also note with concern the intention to divert the public attention from the real issues by purporting to adjust the salaries of senior state officers, members of parliament, members of county assemblies, and governors upwards at a time when the country's economy is not doing well. We urge our members to reject the salary increments. We call on all Kenyans to unite and defend the values of justice, democracy, and peace for which this country has been known. As a coalition, we are steadfast in our commitment to advancing the interests of every Kenyan citizen. Finally, it is time for Ruto to take responsibility for all his actions. He has blood on his hands, and he should go to allow for a smooth transition of power. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our country, Kenya. I can only very quickly... Sorry, we have 2 members of parliament, the leaders actually, the leadership of parliament, both Honorable Wandai and Honorable Mbui, the leader and the deputy respectively. Although they call them minority in that parliament, we never accepted the reality that they are not the majority and the deputy majority respectively. Mheshimiwa Wandai.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. I just want to clarify to the nation, really, that first and foremost, it is a matter of fact that the Gen Z and indeed the public have been calling for the reduction in salaries paid to senior state officers and public officers, including members of parliament. And therefore, it would be insensitive for us as members of parliament to accept any purported salary increment amidst the rage that is out there. As a matter of fact, again, I want to go on record that I, together with my deputy, Honorable Mbui, have rejected in totality the purported salary increment by the SRC.
I think we need to give you
and we are asking the National Treasury to reallocate that money towards employing the JSS teachers, towards employing health workers, and in fact towards helping the youth who are out there struggling to get gainful employment. I'll be, of course, together with my deputy, calling upon my colleague members to follow suit. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
If there's something my colleagues may want to add, but you may have noticed that over the weekend, while in Kitui, I did call for the possibility of a snap election, and actually gave comparison between Kenya and what is happening also in the region. When the French President Macron realized that his party lost majority during the recent European elections, he called for a snap election. The French are on to that. Tomorrow, the 4th, Prime Minister of the UK, Mr. Sunak, also called for elections, really literally snap elections, on July the 4th, all over the UK. This is a moment for Kenya. But that's why we are calling for very quick enactment of the IBC Amendment Bill 2024. So at least there may be a possibility, assuming the youth in this country will allow that opportunity to happen. So that's one of the things that we made very clear over the weekend. And again, we looked at what happened in Parliament, the desecration of Parliament. There's blood right outside the entrance to Parliament. And we suspect, I've never gotten this confirmation, the young man who sat on the Speaker's chair was brought down. Blood right in the chamber. How, in all honesty, will members of Parliament want to sit in a place like that? These are some of the questions that we must ask as leaders. But, Mheshimiwa Eugene, if there are questions, I can deal with them.